Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to be having a look at the Warhammer Fest 2021 online reviews for Warhammer 40k. Give you my thoughts on all the models and stuff that was revealed. First up, we have the continuation of Warzone Charadon, the Book of Fire. So this looks at Adepta Sororitas coming into the war, so we're going to have a look at them in more detail, but this will be them involved a lot further. We also have Chaos Demons, specifically Be'lakor, so we will have his rules published in their entirety. What's very interesting though is there's a thing called the Legion of Shadows, which will allow you to combine demons and Chaos Space Marines under Be'lakor, which will be very interesting way to play. I can't wait to see it. This reminds me very much of Khorne Demonkin, or more closely Fabius Bile, where he had a very unique way to play his Chaos Space Marines with specific rules. I think it was Legion trait, stratagems, etc. This is very interesting. Obviously Chaos Space Marine players are absolutely can't wait to get their 2 Wound Marines, but this is something to get us by. Very interesting way to play, and including Be'lakor, so I'm excited to see. Scenery kit, there will also be a scenery kit for Charadon. It looks more like a repackaging more than anything else, which is okay, I guess. Just a bit of repackaging, some stuff in there. And additionally, they did mention that there might be Adeptus Mechanicus rules involved, which I'm not very happy with. I did mention in my last Book of Rust review is that I'm worried that they're going to spread out some forces into other books. So if we're seeing Adeptus Mechanicus, where we see some stuff in the Book of Rust, we see some stuff in the Book of Fire, we see their actual codex, I think this is a dangerous precedent that they're going to have supplements and things spread throughout various campaign books, and I'm not too happy with that. I could be wrong on that, but I did hear whispers that Adeptus Mechanicus were involved, so we'll find out if their rules are going to be in there, but I'm certainly hoping they are not. We then had a look at Adepta Sororitas, and in specific a new character, Morvenn Vahl, who happens to be a High Lord of Terra, which there was a lot of debate whether this was the first one on the field. I believe so, as Roberto Guilliman is not a High Lord of Terra, and I don't believe Trajan Valoris is one himself, but I could be wrong there. Either way, a completely stunning model in a really big suit of the power suits. That's one of the ones that's used for the Paragon war suits, but hers is obviously a bit bigger. Wielding a spear, mastercrafted heavy bolter, and it appears some missiles as well. Meant to be a combat character, so could go toe to toe with some of the tougher demon princes. Probably not demon primarchs, but you get an idea on that one. And on par with abilities given to our forces, a bit like Robotic Guilliman. Appears to have low wounds, so it cannot be targeted, and halves damage, which makes a very potentially destructive character for the Adepta Sororitas. I think there's a bit of speculation on this part, but I imagine she will be a bit like Gaz or Typhus, where you can take her in any Sororitas force and she does not disrupt the order convictions, but I am purely speculating on that one. But it would make sense for a character of this magnitude to confer that ability. Either way, an absolutely stunning model, and certainly a new addition that is quite interesting for the Adepta Sororitas. We then further expanded on Adepta Sororitas, looking at 2 new characters, Astrid Thurga and Agatha Dolan. Now, Astrid, I believe, is the banner bearer, while Agatha wields a staff. Astrid is the banner bearer that we'd actually seen previously. They appear to be unique characters that are fielded together. We then had a bit more of an expansion on the Paragon suits. We're just looking at more options here with Mace. Looks like if you maybe team them up with Morvenn, you're going to have a very interesting combination of unit that's going to absolutely devastate your opponent's front field if you charge them in together. A bit more expansion of Celestine Sacrosanct. We'd already seen them with the halberd options, but we now have a mace option. Under the shield we do see their ranged weapon as well. I think we speculated on that before, so it's good to see that is now confirmed. We then had Cascator, Palatine, Dogmata, already shown. They just sort of confirmed the Dogmata worked in terms of a bit like a chaplain, mainly because Adepta Sororitas don't have any Psykers within their force, and we also had the Codex confirmed. Though this was always expected, it's just very interesting to see that the Codex, we did have a Codex, I believe it was last year it came out, and then obviously with 9th edition a new one came out, but with so many new units, I think it may be warranted. And lastly, we had a team sort of, not really interview, but a video with the thoughts from Stu Black, who I can't remember exact position he holds within the Games Workshop, but that he seems to be high in the development and production of the Warhammer 40k range, if not very high up. So he spoke a lot about Adepta Sororitas. What the thought process behind them was that they wanted to take the range of them, which was extremely old. I mean, they had not been updated in a very long time, and they updated the whole range and gave it a lot more life, and I think the community responded very well to them. Then there was, after 9th edition, they've wanted to now then bring in new units, which gives you a different ways to play. So they wanted more combat units. That's what you're seeing with, I think, the Celestine Sacrosancts. But then you also had the heavier infantry through the Paragon war suits as well. So it's this idea that they wanted to update a whole range and then expand on it, not adding units that were specifically there already, but try and think of different ways to play. And I thought that was very interesting to hear about, and I'm ecstatic to see that they're willing to talk about it, because I think there's a few other forces, not all of them, that could certainly be used to be expanded upon in almost the exact same way. And that is it for my thoughts and just sort of recap of everything we saw in the Warhammer Fest Day 1 of Warhammer 40k. Now, I would say that I am slightly disappointed in this one, only because there's a lot of things that we had seen, but they have been expanded on. Warzone Charadon, I think that there's a bit of worry in terms of, I've discussed this when I was discussing Codex and supplements, in terms of how they're trying to combine narrative but also rules in them, the strengths and weaknesses of them. If there is Adeptus Mechanicus rules in there, I will be slightly disappointed, because that'll be 3 books for Adeptus Mechanicus, when all within nearly a month or 3 months of each other when they come out. They're all required to get the full rule set, and if this is a present that goes out, we may see that expanded on, and I don't think that'll be popular. I think if you want to get supplements, keep it to 1 book for additional rules, your codex, your supplements. I don't want it spread out through campaign books as well, but I'm not 100% sure that they will do that. Bellicor and this Legion of Shadows, though, for Chaos Spacemarines and Demons, I am highly excited for. So very interested in that. The new Sisters models, obviously Morvenn Vahl being the newest one. Very exciting model. I think if you're looking for a centerpiece model, that fills the slot quite nicely. I absolutely love the Paragon warsuits. I know some people do not, but I do like them. I think they're a little bit better than some of the other ones we have seen in terms of warsuits. And the Celestine Sacraments, well, I won't lie, I'm a huge fan of using shields in 40k. I just like these big old shields in games like that, and if they're halberds as well, they look great. So just getting that bit more expansion of Adepta Sororitas was quite good, and the interview with Stu Black was very interesting. I think going forward that maybe this was just going over immediate releases. The things I hope to see in the next one is going to be a sort of, what are the next codexes coming out? I believe people are very interested in that. When we look at 8th edition, they were very open over the next 3 codexes at a time usually when they were releasing them, so I'd like to see that repeated. I know that they're maybe having difficulties during this time that we're in, but it'd just be nice to get a bit more of a plan on that side, and possibly if they've got any idea of what the next force might be a big update to. I think with Adepta Sororitas and Necrons being updated on such a big scale and making them both very popular with the community, I know plenty of people who have either collected Adepta Sororitas forces or Necrons specifically. I think it's maybe time to cast their eye on another force. Hence our orcs, and we're likely to see them on Friday, but who knows, we will see what they hold. So overall, I thought it was fine, but for them saying Warhammer Fest, it was okay, but I'm certainly hoping that the big guns are getting pulled out on Friday. So thanks again guys, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, what you think, were you very happy to see all this, or were you a bit disappointed? What do you want to see on Friday let us know. Very interested to see what you have to say in the comments. Check us out on social media where we can see our upcoming projects, and we'll see you on our Tabletop Assault Battle Report.